10 years ago, who was tired of World War II? Do longtime Call of Duty players remember that time? And no, I'm not talking players going back to just Call of Duty 4. I'm talking all the way to the beginning of this motherfucker, way before the YouTube owner was ever fucking himself. Now, the gameplay in the background comes from Haymaker, and I think this is a map I have not seen yet. Now, I don't think it's a DLC map. It's probably one of the original fucking maps in this goddamn game, but I have a feeling this hasn't been submitted to my channel yet. I mean, people can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is a map that I'm personally seeing for the first time. But you know what? I really don't give a shit. So let's get back into what I was talking about. Going back to the days of PlayStation 2 and Xbox Original, shooter games were either old timepieces, alien shooters, or futuristic shit. It was rare to find a modern shooter game, and Call of Duty was no different. They started their franchise in World War II. Medal of Honor and Battlefield are two other shooters that also got their start in World War II. Eventually, Battlefield went to the modern time frame with modern combat. Call of Duty then hit things off with Call of Duty 4, and poor Treyarch were stuck in the past of World at War. Sorry, suckers, you were left high and dry milking that ancient history teed up in this bitch, man. But anyway, since then, the majority of shooting games and first-person shooter games are grounded in current combat scenarios, not alien-type shit like Resistance, kept to modern themes. Black Ops 1 is probably the exception to that rule, but when you look at the history of the Call of Duty franchise, the order of the numbered franchises, not the side projects that were also done, but the numbered games, they went in a particular order. They went from World War II, World War II, World War II, modern, World War II again, modern but 5 years in the future, then Vietnam, modern, 10 years in the future, alternate modern in another fucking universe, and then really fucking far out into the goddamn future. It's been 7 years since we had a World War II shooter, and it's been 5 years since we had a timepiece game prior to the current warfare format, both being Treyarch products. And as I said in an earlier video, my prediction is that Treyarch will bring back a timepiece shooter. Rumors have been circulating all over for the hires that Treyarch's had recently that a timepiece game is coming, and signs point to a war that happened before the 1970s. Thus, the cycle or recycling of material is coming back to Call of Duty. If the rumors are true, my predictions are correct, Treyarch is going back in time in the next game, and we'll have a setting either during or before the Vietnam War. Could be World War II, World War I, Korean War, whatever the fuck it is. And it's funny that players and the Call of Duty community now want a World War II game, because years ago it was worn out. It was done before, and pretty much every theater of war in World War II had been covered already. Now all of a sudden, people want World War II again. Now, I'll be honest with you for a second. I personally think it's a good time to return to an older war that already occurred. However, I'm really hoping it's not World War II. Maybe World War I, maybe something new, maybe the Korean War, Indochina War, whatever the fuck. But I want something different. I want something unique. And with Activision now in charge of the 3 studios, approving each and every game they make now, it seems obvious to think Treyarch knew ahead of time that Sledgehammer would be making a far futuristic warfare game right on the heels of them making Black Ops 2. And I know Treyarch, they like to be unique, so an older war seems very likely with Treyarch's next game. Personally, you guys already know my feelings about Treyarch, so I won't even bother at all with that game. Doesn't matter what time frame they pick or how good the reviews are. Treyarch and Bethesda are 2 companies I will never ever buy from. Ever. Just not happening. So that being said, if this wasn't Treyarch making a game, I still wouldn't want to play a historic war game. And here's my issue. First of all, no matter how much these studios say it's a historic war, they always bring some sort of modern bullshit that has absolutely no business in those timepieces. Case in point, the FAMAS in Black Ops 1. That shit was still a fucking prototype. Hell, it wasn't even in production when some of those events actually occurred in Black Ops 1, let alone the US military being able to use it since it was kept till France till well after Saigon fell. Come on, man. They add shit to combat like ballistic knives that could kill you in one shot, or tomahawks that were never actually used as effective throwing devices. But hey, to Treyarch, that shit was gold. They also used fucking dogs, which were not used in any war since World War I, and pretty much shit all over what happened in history. And this is the problem with historic wars. Shit already happened. No, really, it's not like you can make a World War II game with Hitler winning. It's not like you can do the Cuban Missile Crisis with missiles actually being fired. Sure, you can have some literary creativeness with the story, such as the Russian dude staying alive and killing a whole bunch of Nazis, or Americans storming the wrong fucking island in World at War. Oh god, that shit kills me every fucking time. Or Bonsai Warriors running out 200 yards, attempt to stab US soldiers when in fact they mostly sat in bushes and ambushed soldiers unexpectedly. But all that shit happened already. The results have already been determined, and it's like watching the movie Titanic knowing that big fucking boat is gonna sink no matter what. Women wanted to see that whole movie while guys were just there with their ladies and happy to see Kate Winslet's tits at the end of it. Now, part of that shit is creative devices, and that's just telling a story within the main story. Yes, the Nazis lost. Yes, the Japanese got fucked over. But telling the story of individuals within that major war is the selling point. It's why a movie like Saving Private Ryan stands out among all those other World War II movies, because it told a fascinating story within the major context of World War II. But no matter how you fucking slice it, you know the ending of the game. Russia will take over the German army, the US will bomb the shit out of Japan, and the Cold War will start shortly thereafter. Whether Treyarch uses Pearl Harbor, the storming of Normandy, or whatever the fuck they want to do, no matter which piece of World War II you take, the end will always be the same, and this is the big difference why I prefer fake wars over real wars. No, really, in Call of Duty 4, Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 2 to Modern Warfare 3, and Advanced Warfare, the writers can make up their own war. They can invent shit to happen that sucks an entire world or country into an all-out war. You can have the White House bombed in Modern Warfare 2, or a nuke go off in Call of Duty 4, or goddamn robots taking over military operations in the future, fucking up all the wars and shit like that. There's more creative leeway with a fake war than a real war. There is more anticipation for the ending compared to a game where I know Hitler will always lose. Although we won't know for a few more months what the next Call of Duty will entail. For all we know, it could be Black Ops 3 or more fucking flashbacks to prior wars. Who knows? Maybe they'll come up with a fucking futuristic game flash all the way back to World War II, World War I, what they did in the other fucking game. But you know what? That just copies what they did in their prior games. Although, I really wouldn't put it past Treyarch to use the same plot devices that they used before. But anyway, I ain't gonna get into that shit. Me personally, I don't care what Treyarch creates. I'm not getting it. I hope Infinity Ward doesn't make Ghost 2, because although I give them credit for doing something slightly different with that alternate world crap with South America becoming a superpower, it just didn't work. For my own personal sake, I would like to see a real modern military theater. Iraq, Syria, Afghanistan, something that hits home, something just controversial enough to piss off thin-skinned, weak-minded motherfuckers who get easily offended. Compare that to a truly gritty and surreal environment of a current war. I know it won't happen, and Activision damn sure won't have the balls to do something like that and risk pissing people off to the point that they can't actually release the game, but it's a strangely unique idea that hasn't been correctly done by other studios. I mean, think about it. You guys remember that game, 6 Days in Fallujah, and the shitstorm that thing created? Oh man, that thing was all fucked up. They said they weren't going to release it. I don't know if it ever got released. Whatever, man, fuck it. If you can have some digital ass fucking in games, you can put some real life actual war shit in a damn game too. That way kids will see what real life battle looks like without quick scoping and all that other stupid shit. I know it's not happening. I know that. But if Activision really wants to make some waves, instead of just going with a safe bet like World War II, future warfare against robots, or current warfare against pissed off Russians again, they can really do something different that will piss some people off. Make a game that pushes the boundaries of how real war can be instead of the explosion-filled bullshit that we currently have. I know it's never gonna happen. I know we're probably gonna get a timepiece from Treyarch, but fuck it. A motherfucker can hope, can he? But even if they did manage to change the game, fans are probably still complaining anyways. You know what's funny? That no matter what Call of Duty does, no matter how much they cycle out their ideas and time frames, it will always be subject to the Call of Duty fanboy cycle of approval. When new Call of Duty games are announced, kids are all like, this will be the greatest game ever, and all that is just based on a trailer. Kids will always think the next game will be amazing. Then the game releases, and it turns into, this is the worst Call of Duty ever. It happens every fucking year. The new Call of Duty is never better than the last one. It's always the worst shit ever made compared to prior years. And keep in mind, the prior year's game is always the worst ever also. Then finally, when a new Call of Duty game is announced, this will be the best game ever, and the fanboy cycle starts all over again. I swear, this is the exact time of year that the next Call of Duty is everyone's favorite game, while the current one wasn't as good as last year's. And I'm sure that cycle will carry over to the time frames when the game takes place in. People wanted something different, and they got Future Warfare. Now that it's played out, they want a historic war. Then they'll get a historic war, and they'll say it's played out, and they will want a current war. Then we'll get another current war, and idiots will say this is nothing new, so they want Future Warfare again. And thus, the cycle of cynicism when it comes to Call of Duty will continue. With Call of Duty, it's a never-ending cycle of cycles. Cycles of content, cycles of fanboyism, and cycles of boredom. Then y'all wonder why I played Destiny for so damn long. At least with Destiny, the mantra's going to be, well, the next game can't possibly be worse than the first one. Call of Duty's never gonna have that shit on their side. Anyways, give you a quick update what's happening. Next week is going to be all Hipfire commentary week. 5 days a week with 5 new videos. And also at Prestige Gamers, we have a new challenge up and running in which you can submit random gameplay that I've been asking for. It's a whole bunch of games that are pretty much new and I haven't received on my channel before, so you guys can go check that out. So as always, rate, comment, subscribe, and all that good shit. And I'll see you guys in the next video.